In keeping with tonight's theme, I'm going to relate the officers' roles to, well, the CEO, the CFO of a, say, fast food chain. Not as quality food, but hey, we'll live with it. The officers, they seem like an elite cadre of shadowy figures you'll never understand. Well, that's not true. The officers are just Toastmasters like you and myself who have decided to take on a few extra responsibilities. And they're very essential responsibilities for keeping the club running. We're going to start with the president, who is the CEO of our Toastmasters Club. Now, what does this president do? They set the direction. They set the vision. The CEO of McDonald's, let's say, they make McDonald's out to be it's a place you can go to get food that's fast, it's consistent, and it's cheap, right? Now, if you're the CEO of, say, a four-star restaurant, you obviously have different goals in mind. But the president of any Toastmasters club has to set their vision for that club in the next 6 or 12 months. That is the most important job they have. They have to set targets for, say, oh, I want the club to achieve at least select distinguished status. I want to improve membership. I'd like to improve our marketing, and here's how we can do it. They are responsible for the club's success. They are ultimately responsible. It's kind of like the buck stops here, right? Of course, they have other functions. They open and close meetings. They hold executive council meetings. And they have to motivate the officers. That's very important. Whether that's, hey, you're doing a great job, please keep it up. If there's anything I can do to help you, and so on. Or, you know, we had a plan for the budget and you didn't give it to me. Where is it? Could you please get it to me? So those are the main functions of the president/CEO. Any questions about that? Let's move on to the Vice President of Education. This is kind of the Chief Educational Officer. And they're responsible for 6 out of 10 of the Distinguished Club Program goals. That's for us, for every club, we have those 10 goals. 6 of those are education award related. That's, first one is 2 Competent Communicator Awards. 2 more Competent Communicator Awards is the second one. ACE Advanced Communicator Award, another Advanced Communicator Award, a Leadership Award, Competent Leader, Advanced Leader, or Distinguished Toastmaster, and another Leadership Award. So they have a big responsibility. They have to set the roster, and they take scheduling requests. So if someone says, I'd like to be a speaker for the next 3 weeks, they can try and accommodate that if the club can do that. If someone says, well, I only want to be timer for 6 months, then they probably will have to accommodate that. But they should also kind of motivate that person, well, maybe when you're done with timer after a couple weeks, you could try grammarian. So they should also try to motivate the club members to achieve either their next rank or just try something new. They also usually run the mentor program in a club. They make sure that new speakers have someone that's going to guide them so they're not flailing around saying, I don't even know what an icebreaker means. Finally, because we have the club success plan, the Vice President of Education should remind their champions, the people that have signed their name, saying, I'm going to earn my competent communicator, I'm going to earn my competent leader, I'm going to earn my advanced communicator, and so on. That they sign a document, and we want to know where you are and what we can do to help you out to get that goal. So they should motivate those champions. Any questions on the Vice President of Education? All right. Moving on, we have the Vice President of Membership, and that's like this Chief People Officer. They're chiefly responsible, and Sunday is our current VPM. I've failed to introduce the other roles holders tonight. Our president is right here, Jen, and Burton is our Vice President of Education. So our Vice President of Membership, again, the Chief People Officer. They're chiefly responsible for converting guests into members, helping them answer their questions about what we do and how much does a membership cost and what can I expect to get out of here and that sort of thing. Now, the person who actually is responsible for inviting those guests in is usually the Vice President of Public Relations. We'll get to that. The Vice President of Membership also functions as sort of the club ombudsman. So if someone feels like they're not getting enough stage time, or they don't feel like they're achieving their goals, they're not sure if the officers are listening to them, the Vice President of Membership should be saying, I'm here for you, what can I do to help? How can I talk to the other officers, what do you need? They also should be sending out a member survey, probably twice a year, and reporting on the results. Those member surveys should include information on, say, do you find the meeting room is fine? Do you find you have enough speaking opportunities? And so on. And they should also coordinate with the Vice President of Public Relations to put on public relations campaigns. That's the big responsibilities for the Vice President of Membership. Any questions on that? Okay, moving on. The Vice President of Public Relations. This is the Chief Marketing Officer. And I know sometimes we think marketing is very cheesy and whatnot, but if you run a business or you're involved in business, you know when you stop marketing, you stop having a business. We can have the greatest product in the world, but if no one knows about it, it does no good. So of course, their job is to be the chief of marketing in the club. That doesn't mean they do all the work themselves. They can put on campaigns where they have, say, Mike, who is our current Vice President of Public Relations, gives us all flyers, just 2 flyers, and says, can you distribute these around town? Just 2 flyers. Could you give out cards at work? Could you give out brochures somewhere? And so on. So they're responsible for getting us to tell our friends and tell the world about our club. And just like I mentioned with the Vice President of Membership, they